Family Leader, a program that empowers, that equips, and encourages men to step up their game of leadership, become better men, become better husbands, become better fathers, and enrich the world with the leadership capabilities that God has entrusted with them. My name is Jesse Ainebyoona. I'll be your host for tonight. I'm sitting in for Samuel Bakutana, who has been speaking at a youth convention in Western Uganda, and I believe it has been an amazing time there for him. So I'm sitting in for him tonight as I host an amazing gentleman, and together we are going to be speaking about a wonderful topic, being a man on a mission. But before we get into that, professionally, I trained as a mechanical engineer. Currently, I'm an entrepreneur. I run a distribution business. I'm also a speaker and I'm a trainer. I speak and train people, equipping them with skills that are going to help them to become a better version of themselves. Skills like public speaking, communication skills, leadership skills, sales, customer service, personal financial management, to mention but a few. I work in partnership with Inspired Leaders International, which is an international organization that empowers people to become better leaders and transform their nations. On a personal note, I'm married. My wife is called Diana, and together we are blessed with 2 daughters, Ruby, who is 5, and Moriah, who is 3. I also serve and volunteer with an organization called Toastmasters, where I'm serving as the division director for the Uganda zone. In Toastmasters, we empower people to become effective communicators and leaders. And tonight, like I said earlier, we are going to be talking about being a man on a mission. And tonight I'm hosting engineer Stephen Langa. Stephen, you are welcome to the show.
Thank you very much.
And it's great to have you on air.
Thank you.
Great. Would you kindly introduce yourself, tell us about your work, tell us about your family, and tell us who is Stephen?
Well, first and foremost, I'm a married man. Mm-hmm. Yes, and I usually want to show people.
This is the hand that goes in the air.
That's right. I've been married for the last 38 years.
Wow.
Yes. To one wife.
Yes.
Beatrice.
Yes.
And between us, God has given us 2 lovely children.
Yes.
Our first child is a daughter, who is now married.
Yes.
And we are the proud grandparents of 3 lovely grandchildren.
Wow.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
You don't look anywhere close to a grandfather.
That's the comment I get everywhere.
Yes.
Everywhere I go, people, but you don't look as old as you are. And I meet my OBs. Stephen, after 20 years, you are still the same. And I used to say something which was just a joke.
Yes.
Only to realize later it was actually true. I used to tell people, you want to remain here? And I'll say it is simple. Be deeply in love with your spouse.
Thank you.
Yes, and I would say it, just like that.
Yes.
Until lately, research has actually proved when you have a good relationship, a good marriage and family relationship,
yes,
you are healthier, you live longer, you earn more money.
Yes.
Every study is tick, tick, tick. You are happier.
Yes.
Name it.
Wow. So you are healthier.
Yes.
You live longer. You earn more money. So if you want to earn more money, we now know the secret.
Absolutely.
And you are happier.
Yes, you're happier.
Thank you.
And you see, when you are not happy in your marriage or in your family, you go through emotional pain. Okay? Not physical pain, emotional pain.
Yes.
And that emotional pain wears you out, wears the body out.
Yes.
Because you see, we have a body, we have a soul, we have a spirit.
Yes.
Now, when you are in emotional pain, it means your soul. Yeah, your body is okay, but your soul is stressed.
Yes.
Now, we are interwoven. We are interconnected. The body, the soul, and the spirit are all interconnected.
Yes.
If one is sick, even the other ones are also going to be sick.
Yes.
So you are sick emotionally.
Yes.
Eventually, even your health
is
going to you.
So the emotional, the physical, and the spiritual.
Yeah,
these all work in alignment.
All work in alignment.
Yes.
You are sick spiritually. It is eventually going to come out even physically.
Yes.
Yeah. That's why, for example, Proverbs chapter 5, No, chapter 3,
Yes.
verse 5.
Yes.
Trust in the Lord and lean not on your own understanding.
Yes.
You know, and all that. Don't be wise in your own eyes.
Yes.
Yeah. For it will be health to your bones. Yes. To your bones.
Yes.
Now, scientists are just realizing that actually our health
Yes.
and our immunity comes from the bones. Yeah. So the word of God directly
Goes to the bones.
yes, the bones and
Yes.
and rejuvenates
Thank
the
you.
bones.
Yes.
Yeah.
There's a scripture that says the word of God is living and active,
Absolutely.
sharper than a double-edged sword.
Absolutely.
It penetrates even to dividing
Yes.
bone and marrow.
Exactly.
Yes.
And moreover, the word of God is not just concept.
Yes.
It's not just empty words. It is life and it is spirit.
Yes.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yes.
So, Stephen is a married man
Yes.
for 38 years.
Exactly.
He is a father.
Yes.
He is a grandfather.
Right. And was an electrical engineer.
Oh, and he was
Yeah.
an electrical engineer.
Yes.
So that makes 2 engineers on the show today.
Exactly. It's
Hey,
amazing.
thank you. Tell me about the wars. Sounds like not so much in that
Yeah.
space now.
I'm not an engineer now.
Yes.
I put down my engineering many years ago.
Okay.
After practicing it
Yes.
in industry. And that specifically came around 1999 because I was an engineer.
Yes.
Then we came back to Uganda, and I was a businessman.
Okay.
For about 10 years, I was a businessman.
Okay.
I ran 2 companies. Then that's when I received a call to do something about family
Okay.
and morality.
Okay.
But at that time, I was a businessman, and I didn't know how is this going to happen. But in 2001,
Yes.
that's when I felt the conviction that
Okay.
I need to start.
Wow.
So at first, I tried to run my businesses and the ministry at the same time.
Yes.
It couldn't work out.
Okay.
So reluctantly, but in obedience to God,
Yes.
I sold off my business interests, and then that's when we started Family Life Network.
Thank you.
In 2002, and this year we're actually celebrating
20 years.
Yeah.
You will tell us more about the 20-year journey.
Right.
But already that tells me that you have been on a mission.
Absolutely.
Because if you had the courage to let go of a business and follow 2 businesses, to let go of 2 businesses and follow your calling, listening to that voice, and it takes a lot of courage for a man
Absolutely.
to let go of business, because I'm sure you had to provide for your family.
Absolutely.
You're letting go of what you'd call
Yes.
an assured source of income to venture into something that is just starting.
Your name. I
Yes.
used to tell my wife, me, because that was my own ambition. I'm going to be one of the leading industrialists in Africa, not just Uganda, Africa. Yes.
You had your eyes on the continent.
Yes, that was my, I tell her, when we were just married, I'm going to be leading, the Murwana.
Yes.
I was going to be the Murwana for Africa.
For Africa.
Yeah, that's where I was heading.
Yes.
And it took God 10 years to break my will from my own will to His will. 10
Wow.
years to be on the mission which I was created for.
Yes.
And I was meant to do. Yeah. Because there's a difference between what you want to do yourself
Yes.
and what you are created and designed to do.
There is a difference between what you want to
Yes.
do
Yeah.
and what you were created to do.
Exactly.
That sounds like the difference between a job and work.
Absolutely.
Many times they sound the same.
Yes.
But a job is what you're trained to do.
That's right.
And yet work is what you were born to do.
Exactly.
A job is what you go to school for, but work is what you were born with. No one trains you to do certain
Absolutely.
things. When you mentioned that, back in school I did sciences, and of course in our time, all of us, when you're filling in choices, it's either medicine, engineering, law,
Yes.
accounting. Those are the courses.
Right.
So I filled in my choices, and that's how I go for mechanical engineering.
Right.
But I did not realize that I had a skill, I had a gift of communication.
Right.
Back in my high school year, I did debate, and I was recognized as the best debater overall. I was never trained to speak in public.
Exactly.
Fast forward many years later, it's not the engineering I went to school for, but it is my skill, my gift, my passion, my calling that puts bread on the table.
Exactly.
So yes, you're right to say there's a difference between what you want to do and what you were created to do.
Absolutely.
Stephen, this being the inspired family leader, let's talk briefly about leadership. In your opinion, what is leadership to you?
Well, leadership is having influence on those you're leading.
Yes.
And to take them towards a better situation than you found them. So leadership is about influence. There's a lot of influence there, and as a leader, you need to know where your people are and where you want to take them.
Okay.
So a leader helps to influence the people to go in that direction. If I can use an illustration, when there's no leadership, each individual is going in their own direction.
Yes.
This one's going this way, the other that way. But when a leader comes in, then all the arrows begin to go. If the leader is taking the people this way, then all the arrows are pointed that way. That's leadership.
Yes.
Yes.
Thank you. So I am hearing that one, it's influence.
Yes.
You are influencing people.
Exactly.
You are rallying people together.
Right.
You are taking them somewhere.
Exactly.
So a man out there, question is, who are you influencing? But even better still, the people that you say you're leading, where are you taking them?
Exactly.
And I think when you just look at those two, it's all leadership. It's just leadership in general. At this point, a bad person can still influence people and take them to a certain place. Right. But what makes the difference? I'm talking about that. I know that there was a study that showed that Adolf Hitler was one of the most, if not the most influential people of the previous century.
Right.
So that tells you that he was a leader. But what draws the line between good leadership and bad leadership is what you ended with saying, taking people to a better place, a better situation.
Exactly. Because you see, one of the things that we are supposed to do is to help whoever we are leading to take them from a worse situation to a better situation according to God's standard.
Yes.
Because you see, there has to be a yardstick of where you're taking people.
Yes.
Or a yardstick to measure what is it that you're doing.
Yes.
Yeah. And that yardstick is God's word. That yardstick is God's standard.
Yes.
So it's not what you just think, you sit there and you think, maybe I should do this, maybe you haven't done the other.
Yes.
As a leader, and that's why as a man, as a leader, if your leadership is going to amount to anything, you've got to know that you are taking people to true north.
Yes.
Yes. To true north.
Yes.
Because there's only one true north in the universe. And the only true north that is viable, that is credible, and that will really lead is God's word.
Thank you.
Yes.
So it's God's word that gives direction and gives us the true north of our lives.
Exactly.
Otherwise, we'll just be wandering.
You are gambling. Because you see, Proverbs 14 verse 12 says, there is a way that seems right in the eyes of man, but the end thereof are the ways of death.
Yes.
You see, when you just use your five senses to make decisions, you cannot avoid the pitfalls of life.
Yes.
You see, pitfalls are traps that hunters use to trap animals.
Yes.
Yeah. They first study their path, and when they wait when the animal is not there, then they go where they know they're going to come.
Yes.
Dig a hole, put sharp objects there facing upwards, then cover it up well. So the poor animal comes, thinks it's business as usual.
Yes.
And goes in there.
Yes.
Life has many pitfalls, which you cannot tell using your five senses. Yeah. So you think you've made a very good decision, a very wise one.
Yes.
You are going directly into a ditch. Yes.
So we need spiritual spiritual satellite surveillance.
Exactly.
Yes, we need God's wisdom to help us to navigate.
Absolutely.
Otherwise, we shall fall prey to the pitfalls of life.
You cannot avoid it.
Thank you. So having looked at leadership, kind of in general, when we bring it down to a family level, how would you define family leadership? Leadership at a family level, because this show, the purpose is to help men to become better leaders at a family level. When I'm a better leader in my home, my family will get better. All men are CEOs of their families.
Exactly.
What is family leadership?
Before we even talk of family leadership, first of all, we need to talk about the man himself.
Yes.
What is informing his manhood? His understanding of who he is. That's where you begin from. Before you even talk about his leadership and all that, that's step 2 or step 3.
Yes.
This man himself. What is it that defines him? That's where you start from.
Yes.
Now, many men, unfortunately, are what we call self-made men. They define themselves.
Yes.
And what a tragedy that is.
Very much.
Find men who, self-made men, he made himself. Who are you? Who are you? Can a car make itself?
Never.
It can't make itself.
Yeah.
So the first step is for a man to know that his maleness and his manhood is derived from his relationship with God.
Yes.
Okay.
So his manness, his maleness, his masculinity is a derivative from God.
Exactly. From that relationship.
Yes.
It is from that relationship that informs him, you a man.
Yes.
And that relationship is what makes him be a man. So being a man, and the definition of a man is not so much activity. Or he does this, or he pays fees, he does, those are not, you can pay fees, you can do all these things, and you still fail to be the kind of man that you should be. Because you see, every man has a template at the back of his mind of what a man is supposed to be.
Yes.
So every man is working with that thing in mind.
Yeah.
Unfortunately, that template, many of the templates that men use are fake. Are fake. They just copy, all men do this, all men do that, all men pin down women, all those are fake.
Yes.
The true one is for you to derive it from who you are in your relationship with God.
Yes.
And it is God who defines you as a man.
Yes.
Yes. You get that from there.
Yes.
And that's why you find people who don't understand that, and like many young men today, they don't know who they are. That's why you see the way they dress, the way they talk, they don't know, are they men, are they women, or are they in between there?
Are they about to change from one to another?
Exactly. Because you don't know who you are.
Thank you. Yeah. And I know this particular segment that we are doing a segue into is something that you have been quite passionate about, Stephen, for quite a long time. You mentioned earlier that you let go of 2 businesses, and this was in the year 1999.
Yes. No, okay, that's when I got the call. Then 2001.
Yes.
Yeah, that's when the transition.
So Stephen, I know that for a fact you are a man on a mission. And I'll tell you why. Because I've been watching you from a distance for, let's go back in history. The year was the year 2000. So I probably...
Oh my gosh.
I didn't want to have this conversation before because I did not want to just, So I meet you in the year 2000. We had a school, I was at school, then I was in Form 2, St. Mary's Chisubi.
Yes.
So you come with Beatrice. And you made the very statement you mentioned earlier on the program when you said something about love your wife. What was that? Say that again.
Yes. Be deeply in love.
Thank you. So, and we just laughed. I was in that audience.
Oh my God.
So you make this statement and the boys just laugh, and she was there.
I remember,
Yes, she was there.
Oh my gosh.
Then
you've made my day.
You pull out this card. A yellow card.
Yes.
True love waits. Then you talk about it. And I still remember the polarizing effect it had on the boys. When you said you're going to sign this card to show that you're going to stay sexually pure until you give yourself to your partner in marriage. I still remember the effect this had. It had a polarizing effect. People said, I cannot sign this card. And then you made a statement and said, if you sign this card because you think you can keep this commitment in your own strength, then you're going to fail. But if you can sign this card and trust that God will help you to keep this commitment, then this is for you. Stephen, I signed that card. Okay?
Oh, God. You're giving me goosebumps, honestly, Jesse.
Yes, we are talking about mission. I signed this card, and I kept this card with me from Form 2 to Form 4 to Form 6 to campus in my wallet. What would happen is that sometimes I would lose everything, but that card would never go away. I finished campus, started working, met my wife Diana in 2011.
Yes.
Got married in 2014. 8 years later, we are a family. So when we talk about a mission, I know Stephen as a man on a mission.
Jesse, I'm speechless, and you've made my day.
I understand.
Thank you.
So Stephen, those visits that you made to schools, we are not in vain. There are so many young people that word equipped, empowered, and inspired to stay sexually pure until they met their spouses on the day they wedded. So thank you for the great job that you are doing.
I'm so happy.
Yes, I had to reserve this for now because we are talking about mission.
Absolutely.
Stephen,
and that was my mission.
Thank you.
Yes,
so what's a mission, Stephen?
A mission is really knowing what you are created for and what your destiny is. I can put it this way.
Yes.
Life is like a big long play, okay? A long play, an ending play. And people jump on the stage, they have their script, they play their script, and then they go off stage. But the play or the movie continues. The movie continues.
Yes.
Yeah, from generation to generation. The main star or the main whatever is God. At the concert, is God because he's there all the time. But each of us who's created, we jump on the stage and we do. Unfortunately, there are people who jump on the stage but are reading their own script, not the official script that they are supposed to be playing. So being on mission is reading from the script which the playwright or the director meant you to play. For some people, they just come on the stage and they just cheer up, or come on the stage and be part of the crowd, or come on the stage and you play a certain role. Whatever role it is a role that God has given you, and you need to recognize what it is and be faithful to playing that role. Because in the things of God, things are not measured according to how big, how pompous. No. It is measured on how faithful you were to what you are supposed to be doing.
Yes.
If you're a case in point, Jesus sat by the offertory and millionaires came and gave big checks and big whatever.
Yes.
Yeah. Then this poor woman came and just gave a cent.
Yes.
Jesus said, this woman has given more than all these guys.
Sure.
Yeah. So the thing is to be faithful to what you know you are called to do and to be and to do.
I like what you say there, that first it begins with recognizing it and then being faithful. It's one thing to recognize it.
Yes.
It's another thing to be faithful.
Exactly.
So you may recognize it, you hear the voice, you have the discernment, but the second test is where the rubber meets the road. Are you faithful enough? Are you courageous enough? That is where the obedience comes in. That's where the faith comes in. That's where you have to take the step, but the first step even when you cannot see the stairs.
Exactly.
So why should man be on a mission? Why is this important for a man to be on a mission?
The reason why that is so important is because it is only when you're on a mission that you will be happy, that you will be fulfilled, and that your needs will be met.
Okay.
Only when you're on the right mission.
Yeah.
If you are not on a mission and you're just following your own thing,
yes,
you will never be satisfied. There will always be something lacking. Imagine, because most people today measure success only according to economic yardstick.
Yes.
According to material yardstick. Do you have a house? You don't have it. Do you have a ranch? You don't have. Do you know? Those are the things people measure. But those are very shallow things. You can have those houses. You can have those ranches.
Yes.
And be very empty inside. And you know, but when you're on mission, I keep telling people, I'm going to die a happy man.
Yes.
Yes. For me, because and of course I'm not perfect. No. But if you look at the scriptures, people like Paul, people like whatever, these were people who could say that, look, you know, when he knew he was finishing his mission, he said, you know, guys, I'm ready. Yes.
Yeah.
Because when you have finished your mission, yes, death may come.
You're ready to go.
Yes, you're ready to go.
Yeah.
It is not, oh, how am I going to go? Oh, you know, I wish I could sleep. Because many people, this is what happened to most men. Most men start measuring themselves on the wrong yardstick. And the men put an economic yardstick, power, what have you.
Yes.
So they're busy working towards it, you know, amassing, stealing, what, you know, doing all kinds of things.
Yes.
Then they reach their middle years. and they've acquired all these things. They've accumulated all these things. And they all of a sudden realize that, oh my God, there's much more to life than just acquiring things.
True.
There's no satisfaction. You have acquired all these things. You've done all. You are so famous and what have you.
Yes.
But you are empty.
Yes. Life becomes meaningless.
Meaningless.
The richest man, the wisest man is the one who said these words.
Yes.
Meaningless.
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 Absolutely.
Everything is meaningless.
Yes, meaningless.
Yes.
That's when now people begin to do all kinds of crazy things.
Yeah.
And again, they begin now to solve things by their own ideas, using their own templates.
Yeah.
Say, oh, maybe if I can get a younger one, a younger
Yes.
girl, yeah.
Yes.
Maybe I can a bigger house, or a bigger this, or if I can get more power.
Yes.
You get all those things.
And you realize it's still meaningless.
Yes.
Thank you. Great. So that's why a man should be on a mission to find fulfillment, to be happy. And indeed, as you do that, your needs will be met.
Absolutely.
God provides. Yes.
Absolutely. And another very important thing, you will leave a legacy.
Thank you.
Yes, you will leave a legacy. In other words, when you die, they will not just say, you see, for most people, when they die, they write on their graves, so and so, from 19 such and such, dash to 2023. Meaning that their whole life is nothing but dash. There was a lot of activity, a lot of this, a lot of the other. You've done this, you've acquired this, you've accumulated. But on the eternal scale,
Yes.
on the scale of what really matters, it was all nothing.
Nothing.
Yeah. But when you live according to your purpose, when you live on mission, I guarantee you, you are going to leave behind
A
lot
legacy.
of legacy. I mean, you've just told me what, I mean, I didn't know. Yes, I didn't know.
Yes.
And for me, that's what keeps me going.
Thank you.
Yes,
The
even if I
legacy.
even if I drop dead now,
Yes.
I'll die a happy man.
Yes.
Because there are people who God has given me a chance to influence. And when you're on mission, you will influence people
Yes.
positively.
Very
It
true.
is not just earning this one, but at the end of the day, what have you done to humanity?
Yes.
Yeah, because God's agenda is always for humanity.
Yes.
Yeah, not just my own, whatever.
It's not about me.
No, it's not about me.
About
others. And as you go out to meet the needs of others and to
Yes.
do what your role is
Yes.
in humanity,
Yes.
your purpose to make life better, to make life easier for others.
Yes.
Like for me now, I'm working to help marriages to be happier,
Yes.
young people to have better morals,
Yes.
and so on. So
Yes.
as I work on that,
Yes.
my needs are met,
Yes.
my happiness is there, my, name it.
Yes, the Bible says, he who refreshes others will himself
Be refreshed.
be refreshed.
Absolutely.
So men, what legacy do you want to leave? What will that dash represent? Or what are you dashing for? We are going to take a break, and tonight we are talking about being a man on a mission. Not just living life but living life purposefully, living life intentionally, living life with a mission, with a purpose, and with a sense of a true north. Thank you, Stephen, for the insights that you've shared. And before we left off, we were talking about what it means for a man to be on a mission. Let's move on to something that I've watched you do, Stephen. Again, I've watched you do this from a distance. I know that you probably set a record in King's College, Budo, because I know that they award the Student of the Year. I know the story that your daughter was recognized as the Student of the Year, and this is something that cuts across. It's academic, but it also comes down to you as a person. They consider a number of factors. So your daughter was recognized as the Student of the Year.
Right.
And then 2 years later, your son gets into Form 6 and he is recognized as Student of the Year. This is something that does not happen every day. The constant in this thing is that they have the same parents. That simply tells me that you have been on a certain mission as far as raising children is concerned. Right. It is not an accident that this now becomes your calling to raise godly families and God-honoring marriages. Right. Tell me more about that.
Now, Beatrice is my wife. Beatrice and I really prepared for parenting when we got married. Actually, before we got married. Can you imagine that before we got married, we bought books on parenting. Imagine we are not yet married, but we bought books on parenting and we read books. And remember, we got married in those very bad years when Uganda was going through very, very serious turmoil. So there was, and we were outside the country. That time I was living in Nairobi. And we got married while I was still living in Nairobi. So we don't have parents to coach us and that kind of stuff. So we read. So when God gave us children, we decided to parent them according to those principles. And my wife is a graduate of Boston University. But when our children were little, she did not work.
Yes.
She remained home to look after our children. And I remember my wife was under so much pressure, under so much criticism. All that education, and you've come from the US and you're just looking after children. And my wife would say, why is it that our children are not looked after by a graduate mother?
Yes.
Why is it?
From
why
the University
not?
of Boston.
Yes, why not? And we parented our children. Fast forward, God gave us the privilege to lay a good foundation for our children. And where they are today is a testimony to that. People tell us, oh, you are lucky. And my wife tells them, luck has nothing to do with it.
Yes.
Because we gave our children the foundation that they need as parents.
Yes.
That's why when both our children who went through King's College, Budo, indeed went through it, and you are right that each of them got that prize. Grace got the prize for being the most principled girl in the school. Yes. And I was told that it's not just teachers who chose.
Yes.
Even the students voted.
Yes.
Similarly with our son, also when the time came, he also got it.
Yes.
And it's from the same family.
Yes.
So meaning that when you are intentional about what you're doing as a man, as a leader, because all that boils down to family leadership.
Thank you.
And family leadership is the man's responsibility.
Say that again.
Yes, family leadership is the man's responsibility from God. From God. Because Ephesians chapter 5 verse 23 says that the husband is the head of the wife as Christ is the head of the husband. Yes. So in other words, there's Christ, then there's the husband, and then there's the wife. That is
the
God's
organogram.
Exactly, that's organogram. So if you fail as a man, if you don't provide leadership, and many men today unfortunately have relinquished their leadership, and that's why marriages, that's why families are failing. John Maxwell, one of the great leadership gurus of the day, says that anything rises or fails because of leadership.
That's true.
Simple. Whether it is a family, a country, a church, an organization, a company. Yes, leadership. So that leadership is very key, and God helped me, and I'm not perfect, as I said.
Yes.
But I found out that when you follow God's principles on anything He has said, because the family is something that God created. And because He created it, He has the prescription, He has the manual of how it's supposed to be run. So if you take the trouble to run it God's way, you reap the results. You reap the results. Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Great. So one thing I'm taking away from this one is the power of preparation.
Right.
You took time to prepare even before you were married. You were intentional. I took note here that raising children does not happen by luck.
No.
Does not.
No.
So men, let's not leave our roles and responsibilities to luck.
Absolutely.
Let's not just hope for the best. Hope is good, but it's not the only strategy.
No.
I think it's good for us to be purposeful.
Absolutely.
It's good for us to be intentional. I also like the emphasis you made that family leadership is man's responsibility from God. I think this is a place where many of us men have delegated this to our wives.
Exactly.
So we are only caring about the provision side of it.
Right.
But think about provision not only in terms of money and material resources, but also in terms of guidance, in terms of mentorship, in terms of spiritual needs, in terms of affirmation for the children.
Yes.
Let's look at provision holistically, not in one dimension.
What I can tell you about that is this, and this is very, very important. Studies show that if, now, first of all, maybe if I say what it is important, since this is a program for men.
Yes.
It is important for us to get these statistics. Here are the statistics of fatherhood in Uganda. 10% of fathers have fathered a child and is not even aware about that child.
Okay, so 10% of the fathers
yes.
have a child somewhere, but they don't know.
He's not.
Okay.
The mother knows or has an idea, but he doesn't know.
Okay.
40% of fathers have fathered children but have abandoned.
Okay, so these have fathered them.
Yes,
and they know them.
Yeah, they know them.
But they have abandoned them.
Exactly. A man gets a woman here, has 2 or 3 children, abandons. Gets another one, abandoned. 40%. 45% of fathers are aware of the children.
Okay.
Live with them. Pay school fees, do all the provision.
Yes.
But do not connect with the children. In other words, they don't have a relationship. There's no relationship.
Yes.
Yeah. It is just orders. Go this. Clean the car. What? Yes. Where's the report? Only that.
Okay.
They cannot sit down and talk. Now, here's the issue. Studies show that a child who is a total orphan, whose father is not there, the things that happen to that child are exactly the same thing that happens to this 45%, where the father is present but does not connect with the children. So literally, those children are orphans, and yet the father is there.
So in mathematics, these two are equal.
Are equal, exactly. That is the tragedy. They are equal.
Let's get this right. So we are saying that 45% of the fathers have fathered their children. They know them.
They live with them.
They live with them.
They pay school fees.
They pay school fees. Their children don't lack.
Yes.
But they don't connect.
Right.
Now what we are saying is that because of the disconnection, that equates them to a total orphan.
Absolutely.
So being a father who is there but does not connect, the children are no different from those who have no fathers.
Absolutely.
I have a biology teacher who used to say, let's have a moment of silence to appreciate that concept. I think that's such a revealing statement.
It is. And many people are not aware, and many fathers are not aware. They think, oh, but I'm providing fees, oh, but I'm providing, oh, but I'm... My friend, you are actually just raising orphans. And to confirm to you,
Wow. Imagine raising an orphan.
Yes, you're raising an orphan.
One would imagine that orphans happen because the father has died, but here is a father raising.
That's right. Orphans.
Because of not connecting with the child.
And let me give you a verse that confirms what I've just said. It is the last verse in the Old Testament. Malachi chapter 4 verse 6. Is the last verse. So even if you forget which
let's go to where it ends.
Where it ends between the Old Testament and the New Testament, the last verse.
Yes.
And somebody said that the last words that somebody says are the most important. So the last words that God said in the Old Testament goes like this. I'll cause the hearts of the fathers to go to their children, and the hearts of the children to their fathers. Or else I'll come and strike the land with a curse. So if I can decode that, if I can simplify it, it is this. If fathers don't take the trouble to care for their children and have the heart to look after them, to care for them, to raise them, to nurture them, fathers, if they don't do that, then God himself is going to come and strike the land with a curse. Not Satan, but God himself. And what does that mean? It means that God will not allow society to thrive if men don't play their role. That's how serious things are. I know today we are empowering the girl, we are empowering women and so on. I'm telling you I was going to say we are wasting time. I was going to say, but okay. of course, we see why they're doing it. It's because men have shunned their responsibility. But the point is this, that if we just focus on women and we leave the men behind and the men don't play their role, I don't care how much we empower women, I don't care how much we do affirmative action, society will never thrive. Let me give you another example from the Bible. Moses sent spies to the promised land. 12 spies. Yeah. So they went, they came back. 10 of them gave a bad report. They said, those guys are giants and what have you. But 2 of them, Caleb and Joshua, said, oh no, yes, the guys are giants, but God has given us the victory. Let's go for it. But people chose to believe the 10 people. They said, it is too much. We can't. We are too small.
Like grasshoppers.
Yeah, we're like grasshoppers. God was very angry with them. So you know what God decided? God decided that all the men who are 20 years and above, who are present, who are part of that decision, that national decision, will never see the promised land. And that's why it took them 40 years to go around the wilderness. Because as they went around the wilderness, those men began to die one by one, until the last man died 40 years later. That's the time God said, okay, now it's time to go to the promised land. Now, that shows you that God holds men personally accountable for what happens in society.
Yes.
He did not hold women accountable. No woman who was 20 years and above was killed because of this, but men. So God has something for men. And God has a certain responsibility has given men, where if men shun that responsibility, society will not thrive.
Thank you, Stephen, for that emphasis, that assertive, that riveting emphasis on the responsibility of a man taking his role in society, and the consequence that society will perish if men do not rise up to take their action.
That's right.
Awesome. So we talked about the 10%, the 40, the 45.
Oh yes.
There is a 5%.
Then only 5% are the ones who are parenting their children well and are connecting with them.
Okay.
Yeah, only 5%. So that means that as a nation, we are a fatherless nation.
Yeah. So men, which percentage are you in? Are you in the 10% who have fathered a child and don't know? Are you in the 40% that they know but they have abandoned the child? Are you in the 45% whom we have equated to orphans, where they are raising children, they are aware, they are living with them, they are even providing, but there is no connection? Will you choose today to be among the 5% that are parenting on purpose? They are raising, and most importantly, they are connecting. As we come almost to the conclusion of this, Stephen, the work you've been doing, you've been on a journey, and tell us what's going to be happening on the 26th of January, because you will be celebrating 20 years.
That's right, Jesse.
Tell us about that.
Yes, we will be finally celebrating 20 years. And we look back and it has been an amazing 20 years. We've reached directly, face-to-face, over 500,000 people, Ugandans, young people, parents, and name it. Then, through media and so on, we've reached millions. There was a time I was running a similar program to this for 4 years. I ran a program similar to this called Family Hour on UBC, and was going countrywide. And everywhere I go in this nation, people, we've seen it. People still think that it's there up now.
The legacy.
Yes. And I've made people say, my marriage had broken, but we saw something there, and it just changed our marriage. And I was in Ginger somewhere, and somebody told me, for me, when that program came, I would stop the whole household. Yes. Everybody stop and come to the TV.
Come and we watch.
Yes, and we watch. Yeah. Every week.
Yeah, wow.
Yeah, so it has been a journey, and we thank God for his faithfulness. Because 20 years is not a simple time. A simple time. And so we are on the 26th, which will be a public holiday. 26th January will be a public holiday. We are going to do a dinner, which is a Thanksgiving dinner, and also to launch a fundraising for the ministry. So what we're going to do actually is that we are going to take most of this year, 2023, to celebrate. So this is the first batch of celebration.
Yes.
Yeah, we're going to have others in the middle of the year there.
Yes.
Yeah, so it's going to be at St. Francis, and we are going to celebrate. We are going to give thanks to God because really, He's the biggest person.
Yes.
Yeah, because it is not our wisdom that makes people change. Like for you to sign that commitment, it is not how well we presented and all that. No. We are just tools. It is God who touches people. It is God who Himself convinces people to sign. So that's what we'll be doing on the 26th.
On the 26th.
Yeah.
Well done. Congratulations.
Thank you.
From your own journey of being on a mission for 20 years, what are there some specific skills, knowledge, values that you think a man out there would need to succeed in fulfilling his mission?
Yes. The biggest one is given to us in Joshua chapter 1 verse 8. Joshua chapter. And that is the blueprint of success which God gave to Joshua. And here was a king. Here was a president, if you can put it in today's world.
Yes.
And God gave him. And He told him, this book of the law shall not depart from your mouth. You shall meditate on it day and night, that you may be careful to obey what is written in it, that you may have great success.
Yes.
So the biggest tool, the biggest thing that you need as a man is to be a man of the word.
Be a man of the word.
Because it is that word that's going to show you where true north is. It is that word that's going to show you that here, turn right. Here, turn left. Here, don't go for this. Here, reject this and the other.
Yes.
Because you can't use your own wisdom. Your own wisdom will land you where you don't want to be. So that is the biggest tool.
Being a man of
the word. Read that word. Fellow men, I tell you men, you want to be wise, you want to be spot on with your mission, with your call, with your destiny, be a man of the word. Many people, Jesse, are looking for happiness. Many people are looking for fulfillment. And so they go out to look for happiness. They are on the way they think they'll get happy. They go out to look for fulfillment the way they think they'll get it.
Think they will find it.
Absolutely. They will never get it. They'll never get it. Happiness, joy, fulfillment, prosperity, and all that. All those are byproducts of heading to true north. Okay? Let me say that again because it is so powerful.
So key.
Because people are busy looking for happiness, looking for success, don't look for success. Seek to do what is right. Full stop. As you seek to do what is right, and you do your best to do what is right. Happiness is a byproduct. Success, fame, and what
joy.
Joy.
Prosperity.
Exactly.
Yes.
They come following you. They come following you. Yeah, so as you just focus. The problem is people are looking for, if you are looking for happiness, you are looking for this, then you are heading south. And the minute you're heading south, even if you get those things, there will be no fulfillment.
Yes.
Even if you get those things, it will be with so much sorrow. You get those houses, you get that money, you get all those, fulfillment, which you think is fulfillment.
Yes.
People think it is a bedroom, all this, whatever. You would, with so much regret. Yes, with so much regret. Yeah. So you just make it simple. Head to true north. Jesse, 20 years now. Do you know that 20 years I've not known what luck is? Yes. What luck is. What is? I don't know. Yet before, when I was a businessman,
you thought you had it?
Yes. We would go through seasons when there's no money. You're in business, but
there's
money
no
is tied up here.
Yes.
And would be stressed and so on. Ever since I landed on my mission.
Yes. No luck.
No luck. If I need to travel, do you know that I've traveled to over 20 countries? Over 20 countries. I've traveled. It is during this period that God gave us a house. Imagine I was doing business, but things were so tight. I did not have a house. We didn't have a house. We entered our house after 28 years of marriage. Yes. And people would look at me before that and, this Stevie Langa, they just, that one is you see Stevie Langa there, he doesn't have a house. My younger brothers had houses. My younger sisters had houses. And imagine, I'm even in the air. But, this Stevie Langa,
nothing.
God did all these things during this season.
And that's why you emphasize that we should be men of the word.
Exactly.
So that you head true north. Absolutely. And then God will provide everything that is needed. As long as you recognize your mission, you're faithful to following it, and you just do what you need to do. You do your part as God does his part.
I'm a testimony to that.
Stephen, for a man who wants to be on a mission this year, what one or two things would you tell them in addition to being a man of the word? Are there any nuggets in conclusion? Would you just look in that camera and talk to a man out there that wants to be on a mission this year? What should he do this year in addition to being a man of the word?
Have your priorities right. And the priorities, there are 3 non-negotiable priorities. The first priority, the top priority, is your personal relationship with your maker. That's the absolute number 1. Number 2, for those of us who are married, your wife is your next biggest priority. That wife is next to your God. That wife is above money, is above your job, is above your career. That woman is next to your God. That woman is above your children. Thirdly, is your children. Your children is above your work. Your children is above your ministry. Your children is above your relatives. Those 3 are the 3 non-negotiable priorities. And as long as you run your affairs while observing them, number 4, you can put whatever you want. If it is your work, if it is your mother, if it is your
feeling,
whatever, yes. But these top 3, And if as a man, you can run your affairs like that. In other words, if any work or anything is injuring your relationship with your wife, it's not worth it. If anything is injuring your relationship with your children and your fatherhood, it's not worth it. Even if they're giving you $10 million per month, it's not worth it. Preserve that relationship. If you can obey that, man, you'll be good to go.
Thank you. You'll be good to go. Wow, this has been so insightful, so amazing. I just like where you've ended. Get your priorities right. My wife likes to use this statement, let's not mix up issues. So let's not jumble up things.
Exactly.
Get your priorities right.
Yes.
Keep God first. Keep your family second. And family, many times, people like to say, I'm married with 3 children. So we just summarize the marriage into children. We forget that the one you're married to is above those children.
Exactly.
And then we think that caring for family means I spend time with children. But what about?
And men need to realize, if you don't handle that woman well, even your prayers, God is not be answered. He's not here.
That one there.
Yes, he's not here.
Wow. So keep your priorities right. Be a man of the word. Right. Keep your priorities right. Your relationship with your maker, your wife, your children, and then number 4, just feeling sensibly. Put in your work, your mother, your ministry. Nothing against mothers, but please fill in anything else that you put, but keep your priorities right.
Yeah, but it's good you mention mothers, because for us men, we think our mothers, she's closer to us than anything else.
Yes.
That's not biblical.
Yes.
You don't have a covenant with your mother.
Yes.
But you have a covenant with your wife.
Come to think about it, of all these 4 priorities, it is only your wife you go with to the altar and you swear before God.
That's right.
Nothing else. You don't make an oath with your anything, with your career, nothing you can change. I mean, from engineering to your passion.
Yes. But that lady, you went to the before God. Yes. And you vowed.
Thank you. Great place to cut it off. It's been so interesting. It's been amazing. Thank you so much, Stephen, for sharing insights on being a man on a mission. For all the men out there, I hope you have been equipped, you have been inspired. And for the ladies who watch this show, I hope that you take a nugget that you can go and share with a man in your life. Who knows? This is the show that empowers men to live exemplary, love authentically, and lead relationally. Thank you for watching The Inspired Family Leader. the show that equips us to become better men, better husbands, better fathers, and be better leaders in the community. Wishing you a good night and all the best as you become a man on a mission in the year 2023.